Hi, I am ItzWarty, and I'm the developer of RAF Manager, and I'm showcasing what I've been working on maybe for the last few days, which is it's an experimental thing. I think it's pretty cool, and it lets you mount RAF archives as virtual hard drives, meaning that it'll like designate a drive letter for a RAF archive or all the RAF archives actually, and let you edit the RAF archives through Explorer. And I'm going to talk about some of the upsides, downsides of this. And it's going to be private for now. I don't feel so confident about it right now. I want to, refine it and stuff like that. So first off, we're going to start off by showing you RAF Manager, which, just in case you don't know what it is. And this is RAF Manager. And as you can see, these are the names of archives. These are the version numbers for the archives. I call them RAF IDs. I really don't know what the official name is because we never got told what the official name is, but those are the archives and this is a file browser. So that's part of RAF Manager. That's nothing new. What is new though is the ability to actually mount them. So this is one of my most recent projects, and I believe I have output disabled. It's good. Okay then. And what it lets you do once again is just it lets you extract files and it lets you do stuff with them and then load them back up. And that was pretty poor English, so I'm going to just demonstrate it. So as you can see, this is it's mounted to a virtual hard drive. I used Dokken library to do this, so check that out. It's actually pretty easy to do. Um, and here's me just browsing it in Explorer. You can see that size and stuff like that is implemented. Not everything is implemented, such as counting the size of the archives, because that involves unextracting every single thing, and that takes a lot of time to do. We're talking about like computer time, processing time, mostly because some files are pretty big. Um, Anyways, we're gonna go do something simple like replacing an Ezreal skin. And as you can see, it's a bit slow when you're doing like large operations. These are 128 items. The reason being that Explorer likes to actually look into these folders and create previews of them, which means extracting a ton of stuff. So, whatever. We're going to the Ezreal directory, and as you can see, I'm previewing everything from Explorer. I believe that Explorer allows people to write extensions to it, to like, for example, preview extensions that Photoshop has. So you can see that we're obviously reading from the archives perfectly. And this is Ezreal's load screen. So what I want to do right now is actually replace, what you're going to be probably interested in is actually replacing the files. So we'll do that. I'll do the load screen, I guess. So it's really simple. We'll call this original load screen, and we'll copy Ezreal's file into that. And this is called Nottingham. Then I'm not going to rename it. Actually, I have to rename it, but that's the Nottingham load screen. So it's as simple as dragging it in, having RAF Manager pack it, right? So this is RAF Manager packing it, um, and voila, it's there. So if we use texture tool, DirectX texture tool, we can actually read from the RAF archives directly, which is pretty cool. And you can also write to them directly. And when you have read and write operations, that lets applications, like any application actually, work with these files, write to them, read from them, and you really get that functionality that you used to have with when League of Legends didn't use RAF archives, when all these files are just in, using whatever file system your computer had. It's that simple, really. Pretty awesome in my opinion. It's probably not going to be so helpful for like the end user. I believe RAF Manager is the future for the end user, mostly because it makes packing so easy to just drag and drop. But for the more advanced user who wants to actually get into the files and mod stuff, um, and really get like I guess more advanced functionality, I feel that this is what they'd want. So it's as simple as dragging it, dropping it, and it'll repack it, and yeah, that that is going to be extremely helpful. A lot of applications that broke when League of Legends adopted the RAF file format will now work, assuming that you can configure them to use this virtual drive instead of the League of Legends directory. And this is, I mean, it's not only limited to, working on, what should we call it, these file archives. You can also work on, let's go to configuration files, and it's pretty slow. This is why I don't want to release it. It's still pretty slow occasionally, which I don't feel is perfect yet, so I want to make it perfect. Um, let's go to the configuration file. It's as simple as double click and you're viewing it. And because once again we're just emulating a file system, it's really simple. And for example, let's make it borderless window equals 1. Save it and open it, and it's 1, 0. Save it, open it, and it's 0. So this lets you do pretty much, edit things like that. And I, I don't know, I prefer it. Instead of having to go through RAF Manager, because I consider myself to be more of an advanced user. Um, so we're gonna close that. And since the archive is unmounted, that window will close, obviously. But that's really it. So you can look forward to this in the next month or two, probably. Really excited about it. I want to get, you know, I want to make sure it's compatible with a lot more things. Right now, it's not so compatible. It has issues working with large files right now, which is probably an issue with my implementation. So I'll just have to, figure out where that bug is. But for small files, like, less than 1 megabit files, it's really easy to pack these things. Once again, once you get to bigger files, like 20 megabytes, there's some bug somewhere I have to trace down. Probably it has to do with how Explorer will write to the hard drive in chunks. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, that's okay. But if you're interested in this stuff, follow twitter.com/ItzWarty. Tweet to me feedback. What do you want? What do you look forward to? What do you want implemented in RAF Manager? Functionality like that, and I'll try to work on that stuff. I don't have as much free time as I did last year. So I am really working. I'm trying to get as much done, but I have a lot of other commitments for school. Um, I'm a student. I'm actually only 16. Some people don't know that for some reason. But yeah, I'm 16, so I have to work on other stuff. But I'm excited about the stuff. I really want to get this stuff pushed out as soon as possible. And once again, this is just built on top of RAF Manager. So if you have RAF Manager and I update RAF Manager, and I feel that the RAF mount is stable enough, then this will become part of RAF Manager. I don't know if I'll actually make it part of the RAF Manager GUI, if I'll rename RAF Manager to another name so that it's like a suite of applications that work and manipulate League of Legends files. I don't know yet. I think it would be pretty cool to actually have like a what you see is what you get editor for the UI. But once again, not as much free time. That'd be really cool. But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. So give me feedback. Tell me what functionality you want in RAF Manager. Tell me what applications you'd expect to work with this. Um, other things, I do have the algorithm to actually add files that don't already exist to RAF Archives, um, and I wasn't the one who solved it. It was actually the guy who created LOL Replay. We were talking about a lot of stuff. I helped him get older replays working and stuff like that. And I can add files to RAF Archives. I will probably enable that functionality in the virtual hard drive RAF mount software. The reason I don't want to add it to RAF Manager is because, to be honest, like if you're creating new files that aren't referenced by the game, you're doing it wrong. And that's just going to make it more confusing for the user. Right now, if you pack a file, for example, bowmaster.dds, that's no longer the name of the file to the game. The game now recognizes it as ash.dds or something similar. So what it'll do is it'll give you an error saying, I can't add files, and this file obviously doesn't exist, and that will keep the user on track. So that's why I don't really want to implement it in the RAF Manager, to make it more, noob friendly and stuff like that. Because in the end, RAF Manager is not really going to be targeted for very experienced people. I want this to be targeted for the experienced people. Um, that's it. Yeah. So go check out RAF Manager. You can check that out at www.itzwarty.com/RAF, which is here. And that's it. Cool.